Then do one set that's like 50% of that as a warm-up, and the second set around 70% as a further warm-up.
What's up? 筋肉翻訳です。さあ今日はドリアンイエーツの超高負荷トレーニングの組み方見ていきましょう。前回の動画でナチュラルはボリュームが少ないトレーニングの方がいいという意見をシェアしました。まだ見ていない方は概要欄のリンクから見に行ってみてください。今回はドリアンイエーツが行っていた HIT ハイインテンシティトレーニングを見ていきます。もともとはアーサー・ジョーンズという人がこの本で発表したトレーニングになります。そしてアーサー・ジョーンズは今もゴールドジムに置いてあるマシンノーチラス社を作った人でもあります。これはノーチラスの中でも僕が一番好きなアブドミナルのマシンです。ゴールドジム原宿アネックスなどにあるのでやってみてください。そして超高強度トレーニングででかくなった一人がドリアン・イエーツです。本人がメニューの組み方について説明をしてくれています。早速見ていきましょう。どうぞ。
Fairly brief, not as brief as Arthur Jones would have probably recommended, but I felt that Arthur Jones's theories were sound, but he was not dealing with the competitive bodybuilder, which kind of requires a bit more complete development, where you have to work on some small muscle groups, for instance, lateral head of the deltoid or the rear head, and all these different smaller muscles that have to be fully developed to get that bodybuilder look. So it's a little bit more in terms of volume, but to give you an example, for a chest workout, I would probably start with a low decline press as a thing that's better than flat bench press. I would do one set very light, just as a warm-up. After a sufficient rest, second set, I would go medium. So it's not near my failure capacity, but it's getting there. A guide that I sometimes give to people is like, if you know your maximum set for say 10 reps, then do one set that's like 50% of that as a warm-up, and the second set around 70% as a further warm-up. So that's generally what I do. 2 sets to warm up, and then the third set to failure. And the form of the movement is very important. So slowing the movement down on the negative phase of the movement. The negative phase of the movement is actually the strongest part of the movement, and most people kind of zip through it. They don't think too much about it. They lift the weight, they think I've lifted it, and then drop it back down again. So emphasizing the negative, going slower on the negative to try to tax that negative part of the rep. Full range of motion and no momentum, no body movement, and so on. So to really isolate the muscle, take it to failure on a positive and hopefully on a negative level. So then that set's gone to absolute failure, then that exercise is done then. Then I'll move on to another exercise. Second exercise, I probably won't do the first warm-up set because I feel like I'll be warm anyway. So I'll just do the medium one, like 70% warm-up set. And again, another set to failure. And the third exercise probably the same. So we're looking at a total of 7 sets there for chest, which if I write it down on a piece of paper, if I tell somebody, that sounds like nothing. But if you do it properly, if you do it with control and absolute failure, you're going to feel very exhausted at that point, and that's definitely going to be enough. Because we want to send a message, the stimulation to the muscle, but if we keep doing more and more sets after this and keep going to failure, it's just going to be very hard to recover from. So not necessarily getting any more stimulation, just making it more difficult to recover. And you must recover. It's exercise with the overload, breaking down the muscle, then you've got to recover. After you recover, then you can overcompensate or grow or get stronger. So it's essential that you recover between the workouts. 2 essential things. First of all, you train with enough intensity that you push your body to stress levels that it's not accustomed to. Then it's got to adapt. And then you've got to allow enough time for that whole recovery and adaptation process to take place.
さあ、いかがでしたでしょうか。軽いウォーミングアップ 70% 限界まで これが基本で7セットで全て終わるんですね。ポジティブ動作で上がらなくなったらネガティブで耐え抜く、追い込みまくるトレーニングですよね。1種目でも十分パンパンになりそうです。パートナーが必要にはなりますが、時短トレーニングとしても使えそうです。序盤で紹介したアーサー・ジョーンズの本は Kindle で見ることができるようなので、気になる方は見てみてください。みんなはこの超高強度トレーニングどう思いますか？またやったことはありますか？コメント欄で教えてください。最後まで見ていただいてありがとうございます。感想や動画のリクエスト、チャンネル登録お待ちしてます。ではまた。
I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when you're gone.